All right, hello again, and welcome back to Whitetail Survival. Today I had another survival kit to go over, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of that thing, but I found this thing on Etsy, just searching around, and it's a pretty neat one, at least for the contents that they showed on the website. So here's the packaging. This came from overseas, so I think it said Czechoslovakia. So here is a little paper it comes from. It has a little story on it, and it's pretty neat. So it just tells you how they got into making these little kits. There's a QR code on there if you want to scan that, and then this is just spare parts it has on it. I didn't open this yet. I just read a little bit on the website. So here's one of them compressed towels. You just put a little bit of water on it. And here's a set of replacement band-aids, which is nice, because then if you do use some of this stuff, you don't have to worry about digging it back out yourself. This is basically it looks like a fresh wipe or a hand wipe, you know, and it has lemon scent on it. And then here is a alcohol prep pad replacement. There is a safety pin replacement, a replacement for the paper clip, a toothpick, and some extra snare wire. So that's a nice thing to see. But let's actually get into the kit now. So this is a tin style kit, and I can feel right now this thing is packed, loaded. So let me take it out here and we'll take a look at it. See, as you can see, this thing is real small, fits inside of my hand. It's just probably actually a little bit smaller than an Altoids tin. So we'll bring it back in here and get a look at it. So they have some nice little sticker art on there. It's pretty neat. This thing traveled a long way. So I don't think there's anything holding it. It's just a tight lid. Pop that open, and right on the inside of the lid, it looks to me like there are some first aid instructions. That's pretty cool. Take a second to read that. We'll put it down. Here we have some more instructions here. Okay, and here's the other side. And then we have a card that has all the contents in it, and I guess how to put it back in there, which is pretty neat, that it tells you how to get it back in there from the side. Here's a little card for unit conversions. There's actually a video here, it looks like, on how to put it back in. Morse code, measurement in inches, and how to use the water purification tablets. That's pretty neat. There's a lot of directions in this kit, which isn't a bad thing. And then as you can see here, as we get into it, right on top, there are one of these like Swiss Tech style folding multi-tools, but it has, everything seems to have the branding on it, that's really awesome. And how these ones work is you just flip them open like this, and they're spring loaded. The same design with these springs that go between. The best part is if that spring breaks, it's not a big deal. You can still use the tool. Little lanyard ring. Got a pair of needle nose pliers, and these are thick. These things are heavy duty for how small they are, so they're kind of limited on what kind of work you do, but these would be better than having no kind of tool at all. So you get a pair of cutters. I imagine you can only use these on soft wire. I don't know if you'd be able to get enough force on these to cut something hard anyway with them, but that's cool. And then on the inside, these always flip up. There's a couple different kinds of these, but they're usually something like this. You have and that is sharp, surprisingly. Some of the ones of these you get are fairly dull, but that one is sharp. And here you have a very small Phillips. I guess probably Phillips 1 or maybe even 0. So that's a pretty fine Phillips head. And then fold down and go back closed. And on the other side, you have the same thing. You flip this up. And there is also 2 tools on this side. You have a flathead, and it's tapered on one side, so that would work. And you have a crosscut file, and feels like you could probably do your nails with it, maybe even a little bit of wood. And there's nothing on the other side and no edge files, just a one-sided file, and this would be a nail cleaner. And I'm going to bring this out here real quick and show you how small this thing actually is. So here it is. It's a very small tool, but it's spring loaded, and this would be better in a pinch than having nothing. And it does have that small blade on it, so that's a good thing to always have some kind of blade. There's a tool, and as we've seen in the spare kit, I should have done that last. This is a compressed towel, and on the outside of the compressed towel, there is actually a, it looks like a 50 centimeter measuring tape. So as you can see on here, there are some measurements on there, and I'm guessing that goes to 50. And that's too small to be inches, but inside of that is a compressed towel, and all you do is put a couple of drops of water on here, and that will turn into like a paper towel size towel. So that's pretty cool, and that's a very compact way of putting a measuring device in there. Having something to measure sometimes would be an awesome thing to have. And coming out here, we got one of these little push button lights, and this one has a lock. So I believe you pull that one back. I've seen these ones before. You pull it back to turn it on, and you push it forward to turn it back off, or you can just push it momentarily and then it'll come on. And as you can see, it's actually pretty bright for how small it is, but that's a nice thing. If you had no light at all and it was pitch black out, you'd be able to see a good way with that. So coming over to here, there's 2 small glow sticks in here, or 3. So I'm actually impressed with the packaging on this thing. Like, most of the time, these little glow sticks are just tossed into the kit. And these things have a lot of uses, even just being able to see a tiny little bit, or to be used as fishing bait. That's an awesome thing. You can stick this and use it like a lure, or stick it on a bait, you know, have a worm on the hook and then have one of these on the line. It works as an attractant, but there's 3 different colors in there. I'm guessing blue, green, and red. Coming out from there, we have a very small liquid-filled button compass. And that looks like it would be fine. It is liquid-filled, and it's a tad bit smaller than the normal ones. So let's go on from here. It looks like we have a little tiny box of waterproof matches. So that's cool. Pull one of these out, and there is also 3 of these in there, but these burn for a good while. They really do. So you should be able to get 1 fire apiece out of them as long as you have good tinder and good extenders, and then good dry wood. So we'll put that down. And here we have looks like one of them multi-use like card tools, which I am going to try this eventually. I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to strap it to a stick and I'm going to try to use it like a hatchet. But as you know, on these things, there's a little saw edge. This is a can opener. This is a bottle opener. This is a knife edge with a point on it, a flathead screwdriver. There's a couple more tools in there, but I don't think, this isn't a sheath. They have this taped on here. So this actually has a layer of black tape around it, and then this is a bunch of layers of duct tape. There's probably a foot or two here, I would say. So I'll be curious when we test this one out. I am going to do that with one of these. This is the first kit I opened that had one, so I'm going to affix this to a stick and see if I can use it like a hatchet. Going on from there, here is a container of liquid super glue. This is awesome. This could be used for first aid. This could be used for, there's a lot of things that you could use super glue for, but mostly repair, you know, gear repair, whatever, patch a hole. So that's a good piece of kit. This is our first super glue kit. And coming in here, we have 2 aqua tabs. And these are good until 2028. 2 tabs for 5 liters. So these must be a little bit more potent than the other ones. So 2.5 liters per tab then, or 2.5 quarts. It is close enough. Here we have, this is just a 3D printed container to hold this other stuff, which is cool because that's why it goes in there a certain way. This is a little tiny pencil. Hopefully that thing's focusing. Check it real quick. So here's a little tiny orange pencil. Put that back in there. There is a little hank of rope here. It's nylon. It's probably fairly strong. Here is the stuff that I was showing earlier. There's a replacement one of these, a snare wire, but this could be used to repair also. Doesn't have to be for making snares. We got 2 paper clips and 1 safety pin. So that will go back in the container. And then this is a 3D printed whistle here. And let me take this out here. We're going to give this thing a blow real quick. So if you don't want to hear it, mute it. Wow, that thing is impressively loud. This is probably the second loudest whistle that I've blown here. So that one's going to travel a long way. It has 3 ports. So it has 1, 2, and 3 different ports, and 1, 2 places where air goes through. So that's a pretty neat thing. This looks like it has a use to. So we're going to put this aside for a second. I think I know what it's for. But let's get into this. And I'm going to stick this aside for now. Now let's get in here. So here is a toothpick. So we have a replacement for one of them. And here is a very long, skinny condom. So there's a water container there for the aqua tabs. Here is a sewing kit, and this has 6 different color threads, 2 buttons, a safety pin, the needle, and that'd be good in a pinch. If you have something ripped, you can sew it up. And here is that hand wipe we were talking about earlier, lemon scented. Just wanted to make sure it was the same as the other one. And here's a little bag for that. And then here is an alcohol prep pad. And there's a couple more things left inside. Let's get it out. Here is 2 Band-Aids. And these are just plain, regular Band-Aids. No branding on them at all. And here's a sheet of paper. If you needed to leave a note or use that to start a fire. And then the last thing in this tin is the surgical blade. And I'm just going to open this a little bit so I can get it back in. It's no longer going to be sterile anymore, but this blade slides out. And that's a very, very thin, small one. But as long as it has this, if it's this style, it fits inside of this tool. Same way. That snaps in, and then that snaps in. And then that is locked into the tool. I slid it forward, and now it can't come out. So as you can see, it gives you, the whistle is actually a handle for this tool. And it just pops on there. There it is. Now that's really locked in there. It can't flip out because it's back behind. It's back behind this corner. But these things are so sharp, you don't really have to work real hard with these to do what you're doing. If you needed to, you know, gut a fish or whatever that you caught, or just light cutting, this thing would be cool for that. And I'm guessing the maker of the survival kit made this thing. Now it's not real big. Let me take it out here and show you. It's pretty small. That's a really small little blade. And that's a really small little handle, so you would have to be careful with this so that you don't slip and cut yourself with it or the blade pops out. But this is a lot better option than trying to hold that blade in your hand, and it also gives you a little better option than trying to make a stick handle out of this. Even if you took a little bit of that cordage that we've seen earlier and tied it tight around here and melted it, that would even be an okay option if you were a little bit worried about it coming out. But other than that, this is a cool little kit. There's a lot of neat little functions that is included in this kit. So it's pretty substantial for all the stuff that's in there. Even have a multi-tool and that tool card, plus all the little stuff here. It would be nice to see, you know, one more way to make a fire. You're dependent on 3 matches, but these are extremely good matches. Even if it takes you 2 to make 1 fire, that's going to be enough to last you for a night. So them 3 matches, they burn for a long time. It's not like that thing's just going to burn and go right out. So other than that, so I was going through the directions real quick, and I also seen in there that you can pop this knife blade out of here, and you can actually slide the pencil in. You can slide the pencil in there to inside of the front of the whistle in the larger hole. And then you can use this as a longer handle for your pencil. And then also, I knew the directions on the water tablet seemed kind of strange, but I guess I just never took the time to actually read this. I just always used 1 liter of water per tablet, but there's actually, depending on your area and how dirty the water is, it tells you there how much one tablet can actually treat. It's a better risk probably to use one tablet per liter because you could put both of these tablets in 1 liter and it's not going to hurt you. So that's just one thing, but that's a pretty cool thing to know if you were in a really, really risky condition and you know you're in a good, clean forest river, you could use 1 tablet for a gallon. But I just wanted to go over that before I closed the video out. So I saw that in there. I thought that was a pretty neat, creative tool. So that's what we got for now on this kit. And I will put a link to this in the description because this one you still can buy off Etsy. I will put a link to this page. With shipping, it was like $40, but it's worth it if you like this kind of thing. So if you see potential in this to throw it in your kit or, you know, build off of this kit, that's a cool thing. But other than that, here is this survival kit, and this has been Whitetail Survival. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.